Welcome back to the channel. Sometimes things don't happen right away. In fact, usually things don't happen right away. It takes time, and today's article is a great example of that. It's titled 15 Songs from the Past That Suddenly Became Hits Many Years After Release. First song on the list is Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. Released in 1975, it recharted in 1991. When Bohemian Rhapsody was released in 1975, it was a hit, but its resurgence in 1991 made it even bigger. The song's dramatic re-entry into the charts came after Wayne's World featured it in an unforgettable head-banging scene. Suddenly, a new generation fell in love with Queen's operatic rock masterpiece, sending it back up the Billboard charts. The song's story is as momentous as the track itself, according to Smooth. The song's second wave of success was even more impressive than the first. It reached the top 10 in the US once again, proving that a great song can find a new life in unexpected ways. Even today, it remains one of the most beloved rock anthems of all time. The next song on the list is Unchained Melody by the Righteous Brothers. Originally released in 1965, it recharted in 1990. Originally released in 1965, Unchained Melody was a hit, but it became a full-blown sensation in 1990 thanks to the movie Ghost. The film's famous pottery scene featuring Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore turned the song into one of the most romantic ballads of all time. Suddenly, a song from the 60s was topping the charts again. HubPages paints a picture of this song's beginnings that befits such an enduring melody. The Righteous Brothers version re-entered the top 40 nearly 25 years after its original release. The song's haunting beauty, paired with its cinematic movement, proved that music and film are a powerful combination. Even decades later, it remains an all-time classic. The next song on the list is Running Up That Hill, A Deal with God by Kate Bush. Originally released in 1985, it recharted in 2022. Kate Bush has always beloved by fans of alternative music, but it took nearly 4 decades for Running Up That Hill to finally become a mainstream hit. When Stranger Things featured it prominently in its 4th season, the song skyrocketed up the charts, becoming Bush's first U.S. top 10 hit. A whole new generation discovered her unique sound, turning her into an unexpected viral sensation. Nobody's more shocked by its revival than Kate Bush herself was, according to The Guardian. The track, originally released in 1985, had performed well in the UK, but never reached its full potential in the US. Its unexpected resurgence made it one of the biggest comeback stories in music history. It proved that sometimes the right moment for a song is simply years away. The next song on the list is I'm a Believer by the Monkees. Originally released in 1966, it recharted in 2001. Originally a massive hit in the 60s, I'm a Believer found a whole new audience in the early 2000s thanks to Shrek. Smash Mouth covered the song for the animated hit, leading many young listeners to rediscover the original version by the Monkees. It became one of the rare cases where both the cover and the original became legendary in their own right. The Monkees version re-entered pop culture, getting airplay on classic rock stations and appearing in countless nostalgic playlists. It showed how a song could bridge generations, with both versions standing the test of time. Thanks to Shrek, a 60s classic became an essential song for the 2000s. The next song on the list is The Twist by Chubby Checker. Released originally in 1960, it recharted in 1962. When The Twist was first released in 1960, it was a hit, but its real impact came 2 years later. The dance craze associated with the song took off in 1962, causing it to become the only song in history to hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 2 separate years. The second wave of success made it even more iconic than before. Chubby Checker's song became a staple at dance parties and family gatherings for generations. It's proof that sometimes a song needs a little time to fully find its audience. Decades later, people are still twisting the night away. The next song on the list is Red Red Wine by UB40. Originally released in 1969, it recharted in 1988. Neil Diamond originally recorded Red Red Wine in 1969, but it wasn't until UB40 covered it in 1983 that it gained popularity. Even then, the reggae-infused version only found moderate success. But in 1988, 5 years after its release, radio DJs in the US started playing it again, sending it to #1. The second wave of success was so unexpected that even UB40 was surprised. It became one of their signature songs, completely overshadowing the original. It remains a laid-back classic that still gets played at summer parties and barbecues. The next song on the list is Don't Stop Believin' by Journey. Originally released in 1981, it recharted in 2009. When Journey released Don't Stop Believin' in 1981, it was a hit, but not the legendary anthem it is today. That changed in 2009 when Glee used it in its pilot episode, reigniting interest in the song. It quickly became a cultural phenomenon, climbing the charts once again. It didn't hurt that The Sopranos had already given the song a boost with its unforgettable final scene in 2007. The song went from a rock classic to a stadium anthem, proving that some tunes are just waiting for their moment. It's now one of the best-selling digital songs of all time. The next song on the list is At Last by Etta James. Originally released in 1960, it recharted in the 1990s. Etta James' At Last was beloved in jazz and R&B circles when it was released in 1960, but it wasn't until the 90s that it became a full-fledged classic. The song started appearing in countless movies, TV shows, and wedding playlists, introducing it to a whole new audience. Suddenly, a song that had been around for decades became one of the most romantic ballads of all time. From film soundtracks to high-profile performances by stars like Beyoncé, At Last became a staple of pop culture. It's now considered one of the greatest love songs ever recorded. Some songs don't just get second chances, they get an entirely new life. The next song on today's list is What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong. Released in 1967, it recharted in 1988. When Louis Armstrong first recorded What a Wonderful World in 1967, it barely made a dent in the US charts. But in 1988, the song was featured in Good Morning Vietnam, and suddenly it became a massive hit. The emotional impact of the film helped reintroduce the song to a new generation. The track climbed the charts, proving that timeless music never truly fades. It became Armstrong's signature song, often used in emotional and uplifting moments. Today, it's impossible to hear it without feeling a sense of warmth and nostalgia. The next song on today's list is Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. Originally released in 1977, it recharted in 2020. Fleetwood Mac's Dreams was a hit when it was released in 1977, but it found an entirely new audience in 2020 thanks to a viral TikTok video. A man skateboarding while drinking cranberry juice and lip-syncing to the song took the internet by storm, sending Dreams back onto the Billboard charts. Suddenly, people who weren't even born in the 70s were adding it to their playlists. The band members, including Stevie Nicks and Mick Fleetwood, embraced the viral moment, helping the song reach millions of new listeners. It was a perfect example of how digital culture can breathe new life into a classic. Even decades after its release, Dreams became one of the biggest songs of the year, again. The next song on today's list is In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins. Originally released in 1981, it recharted in 2020. For years, In the Air Tonight had been a favorite among classic rock fans, but it got a major boost in 2020 when two YouTubers recorded their first-time reaction to it. Their genuine shock and amazement at the famous drum break went viral, and suddenly, millions of new listeners were streaming the song. Phil Collins saw the resurgence firsthand as his song climbed the charts nearly 40 years after its release. The moment proved that even a single reaction video could change a song's legacy. It reintroduced Collins to a younger audience, many of whom were hearing the song for the first time. Sometimes all it takes is the right moment for an old song to become new again. The next song on today's list is Stand By Me by Ben E. King. It was released originally in 1961 and recharted in 1986. Ben E. King's Stand By Me was a hit in 1961, but it saw an even bigger resurgence in 1986 when the movie Stand By Me brought it back into the spotlight. The film, based on Stephen King's novella, used the song as its emotional anchor, making it an instant favorite among a new generation. It climbed the charts again, proving that timeless music never fades. The song became so closely associated with the film that it's now impossible to separate the two. Its message of friendship and loyalty struck a chord with audiences in the 80s and beyond. More than 60 years after its release, Stand By Me is still one of the most beloved songs in history. The next song on today's list is September by Earth, Wind & Fire. Originally released in 1978, it recharted in the 2010s. Earth, Wind & Fire's September was always popular, but it found an entirely new level of fame in the 2010s thanks to its presence in movies, commercials, and, most famously, social media. The song became a meme with fans celebrating the famous opening line, "Do you remember the 21st night of September?" Every September 21st, the song will go viral again. It's rare for a song to become an annual event, but September managed to do just that. The track's infectious energy and upbeat spirit keep it relevant year after year. Even decades later, people still find new reasons to celebrate the groove. The next song on today's list is Take On Me by a-ha. Originally released in 1984, it recharted in the 2000s and 2010s. a-ha's Take On Me was a hit in the 80s, but it saw multiple resurgences over the years. The song's groundbreaking animated music video helped it remain a pop culture staple, but it got another boost when it was featured in La La Land and various commercials. It also became a favorite among online content creators, helping it re-enter the streaming charts. Its status as one of the most iconic synth pop songs of all time only grew with time. Whether used in nostalgic throwbacks or new creative interpretations, Take On Me refuses to fade away. It's proof that the right combination of melody and visuals can keep a song alive for generations. And the final song on today's list is Jolene by Dolly Parton. Originally released in 1973, it recharted in the 2010s. Dolly Parton's Jolene was a hit when it first came out, but it exploded in popularity all over again in the 2010s. Covers by artists like Miley Cyrus and the White Stripes helped introduce it to new audiences, while social media boosted its presence even further. The song's emotional storytelling and unforgettable melody made it an enduring classic. In many ways, Jolene became even more famous in its second life than its first. It's now considered one of the greatest country songs of all time, inspiring countless new renditions. Parton herself has embraced its long-lasting success, proving that some songs never stop finding new listeners. Great songs have a way of resurfacing no matter how much time has passed. Whether through movies, viral moments, or pure nostalgia, these tracks all found their way back into the spotlight long after their original releases. It just goes to show, when a song is truly great, it never really fades away. Alright, there you have it. 15 songs from the past that suddenly became hits many years after their release. That's a great example of 15 songs. If you guys have another one that found its way back to the charts, put it in the comment section. I'd be interested to hear from you. And as always, if you enjoyed today's content, give it a big thumbs up like. That'll help get this video out to a few more eyes. Trying to grow the channel, and that could really help me. Get that big thumb up on this one. Give it a like. And if you really enjoy this sort of content, consider subscribing to the channel. We got fresh videos coming out daily, so there's always something fun for you to watch. I thank you for watching this one to the very end. Hopefully we'll see you again. We'll talk to you on the next one. Bye.